Okay, where do we need to go? I think we need to leave, right?
We might need to talk to the king, dude.
True, true. Let's go talk to the king, dude. Let's see. Hello, king.
Here is our dear hero. Oh god, it moved the text. Of the 7 dimensions, Itotsura has warned me of your coming. He is certainly waiting for you. You restored the old portal to Rilliath. It will allow us to communicate and forge links with this flourishing region. In any case, it gives me great pleasure to see you again here. Make yourself at home. Glad you are in the area again. You may have noticed some residents are no longer in the village. Indeed, many traders have gone to do business in other regions since you saved the 7 dimensions of Ranagot. By the way, your house is always yours. You are always welcome.
He doesn't have any more dialogue? Nope, it's the same dialogues. Okay, let's see. Let's go do this. Oh, we go down there. Okay. Let's go all the way back down again to wherever this place will be.
I'm gonna
Wait.
laugh if it's like go back through the portal. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are going back to the emerald portal that we went through.
Okay.
Let's go back home. Oh, hooray! This boat.
You there. By order of the king, I will take you to the palace. Please come with me.
There's our horses, by the way. You see that?
Oh god, yeah.
This has been a good entire time. Okay, I think it's loading the map.
I mean, if we traveled in time, then like, have they really been waiting? Please, move forward. We are not at the end of our journey. There he is at last. Excuse me, I meant, are you the one who activated the portal?
Yes, it is me.
This is incredible. But how? We never thought we'd see it in working order before you opened it.
I will tell you about it, but I would like to ask you for some information in order to continue my journey.
Well, we'd be happy to help you. First of all, we really want to hear your story.
Oh, well, don't tell me it's gonna be a long dialogue of storytelling here. I was looking for a man, a wise old man.
A few minutes later. How about that? It's rare to meet people as interesting as you are, but I don't understand why you wanted to find a Totsura. He himself did not explain it to us.
He's a longtime friend. I needed his help, but now I have to go back to where I came from. The portal of your city. I know that it also allows the passage of other time. I have no choice but to use this one because the place where I come from cannot be reached by any horse or boat. I need time gems to achieve this.
Time gems? I've read about these artifacts, and it seems to me that they are very dangerous.
I will understand if you wouldn't let me use them in your city. I will find another way to use it, but I absolutely must get it. A simple information on their location will help me a lot.
To my knowledge, one of them is in the high mountains, in the legendary city of Elorion, home to the Dahal Academy.
Thank you. So I'll go there.
Hey, maybe that's where we become Dahal Masters.
Oh,
One
true.
last thing. You have my authorization to use our portal. I would just ask you to come back and see us when you find the gem. Okay, it seems like that's the last of the dialogue.
we, were,
Yeet!
we were waiting there for the time. So I just had coughs. Oh my god, you move so fast with this corruption.
Yep.
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna repair this. How much does it take to repair this? Wait, why did you get an achievement for that? I'm the one who repaired. Nope, it doesn't like. Oh, I got kicked off my horse again. Oh. Oh, you're not even here for the dialogue, dang.
I see that it says, hey there, wait a minute, I need to ask you a few questions before I can let you pass. Who are you and why did you come here?
I love how you can you're all the way over there, and you still like singing dialogue. My name is ishinyca, and this is wait, sporadic kitty. Oh, you got teleported now. Oh, you just telling yourself. I am such information. The royal family of Aurelia referred me to Eolorian for that.
Oh, the royal family of... You're not just anyone, it seems. I'm sorry for the interruption. But our city is poor despite its appearance. I'm not allowed to let beggars and vagrants in, because we barely have enough to survive the winter and we rely heavily on trade to survive. I mean, if that's the knowledge you're looking for, you couldn't have come at a better place. The Dahal Academy is located at the other end of the city, facing the mountains. You can't miss it. They'll probably agree to help you for a few chronotons.
Oh, the teleport's right there.
Where?
Where are you? Do you know where my horse is? We walk past this area a lot. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's go to the main quest.
Okay.
I walked through everything like, yeah. Main quest is this way. Dude, this giving me like Skyrim vibes.
Hmm.
And then like, you know, like the
Well, it's probably part of the intention.
like the hall thing, which in Skyrim is the you know, like the magics and stuff. Like it's basically the snowy area. The same thing as like the winter of I don't remember the name of that place.
Is it Winterhaven?
Winterhaven. It's the same as that concept.
Hello. If you are looking for some information, you can find Aramis the Archmage in his quarters on the top floors of the Academy.
Telling me I gotta run through all of this. It's so hard to see. Hold on. I'll swap to torch so I can see. Oh wait, did I not? Oh, I lose speed if I. Oh, okay. My shield gives me speed. That's why I have the shield out for a reason. Question is, where is he? Should use a
I
fireball.
found Nolan. I know found Leoris.
Oh my god! Guess what I found again?
What?
You know.
Oh.
Oh no! Okay.
Let me use my stock real quick, because I need to get my torch out of there. Wait. Huh? Oh no, my torch is in the ender chest. Dang it.
Okay, I'm looking around here first before I give you these books. Actually, you should start reading this book while I explore. Oh, are you over here?
I'll just teleport to you.
Yeah. Here's your first book.
Put them in the chest. Put them in the chest.
Okay, that's don't read that one. That's the not the English one. This is the first book, and it's the second book. Read the last words first.
Alright. Let's move that there. Yeah, just double checking on that one. You said my last words first, okay. After all this time wandering in the region of Silberland and desperately searching for a sign of my mother, I can finally progress. In Eolorian is located a friend of my family. He is called Gorlaf, fellow adventurer to the sides of my mother. We followed her in almost all of her adventures and passed by the house before each expedition departure. He was like an uncle to me. When I was little, I loved listening to the stories of his trips. To be honest, and now that I think of it, they were all pretty gloomy, taking place in ancient burials, catacombs, and all sorts of tombs. However, it's because I remembered his stories that I began following his steps in similar places of Silberland. In any case, my instinct has always been right during my quest. I arrived full of hope towards him, hoping to learn more about the disappearance of my mother. This is when I realized I didn't know him well. He was almost like a stranger now. It was as if I was addressing a dead person. He recognized me, but the way he spoke shocked me. With a surprised look on his face, he questioned me about the reason of my coming. I then explained to him my story since the disappearance of my mother, until the reasons for my home departure. When I started talking about Tatiana, My mother, there was like a switch in his mood. I bothered him. So I decided to be straightforward before he shut himself. And I asked if he knew where she was and the reason why she left. He confessed very dryly that she would have encountered a fatal fall during her last expedition.
Dude, hold on. Sorry to interrupt you here. I found a merchant here, and it sells Golem. A summoning Golem to fight alongside you.
Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa! Confused by the sadness of his confession, but also now hurt in my hopes to find my mother. What the? Extra text begged him.
Oh, you didn't finish translating all of it, I'm assuming?
Something. On. When I was to find my mother, I attempt to explain. He never came to the house. Oh, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna have to fill in the gaps. I begged him to explain why he never came to announce her death. Where's the text? But I did forward this news to your something?
I dropped you another book, by the way.
Anyway, something about would be strong, wasn't prepared for this eventuality. He offered his hand and got me up. He took me in his arms, then he slowly whispered these words in my ear. It will be fine, my girl. So this is a woman's last words.
I said, I give you another diary to read through.
Felt an icy breath on my skin and chills surged through my body. He added that my father surely wanted to protect me and keep the truth for himself, but the damage had been done. I was hurt by the absence of my mother, and not only did I grow up without her, but also in the wrong company of an irresponsible father. I then asked, desperate, why did she have to fall? What am I going to do? To which he answered with, life can sometimes be terrible, as much as death. I know a place where death and life are only points of view. A place the mountains protected by its secrecy and its inaccessibility. All these confessions shattered me. In this confusion, my life was broken a second time. I was lost. I had no direction besides to follow this man in whom I had little trust. However, Korlaf gave me hope. Something strong to allow me to continue my journey with someone who could protect me. Father I never really had. Even if tired of my journey, I couldn't wait anymore. I needed to go to the place Korlaf told me about. After only a few days of rest at Eolorian, we were ready to make the ascent. From what he told me, we will take the same path my mother took for her last trip. I always kept in mind the hints gathered in the catacombs during my journey. The steep places give to an idea of my mother's motivation and the extent of the risks she had to take. Maybe I will never come back, but in any case I will see her again in this world or another. I know that people are tracking my steps. I've known it since the mine of the Mornith. To you who finds this message, don't lose your time. You will never get me. And this one, Expedition Diary. 51 pages.
I was like, yeah, that's 51 pages. There's a lot of lore though, so yeah.
Circumstances obligates me, Mayorine, Chamberlain of King Chellin, to hold this diary as an account of our actions and our efforts during this difficult time, so that any noble and honorific person can come and help us by finding this writing. I will dedicate this first page to the description of our state and its context. The state of Ronrin is a splendid nation, free of wars, hungers, and plagues since at least a dozen generations. Our people is flourishing. The King Chellin is loved by all. He is the legitimate descendant of Calero, who by himself vanquished the powerful Dark Mage. Hearken, Les Hombre, servant of the Lost Awakening. His kindness and his benevolence are unmatched. His decisions, like those of his father and of the father of his, always offered prosperity to Ronrin. The strength of Ronrin lays in its wheat culture and its iron exportation from the mines that our ancestors excavated. The bargaining at our borders enacted peace and wealth for every neighbor nation as well as for our own. Alas, it seems that the bad fate struck us. A strange scourge is spreading on our land, bringing out the violent and evil from men and animal. They decimate the population, the cattle, and the crops. Its origin is uncertain, and scourge did not struck in any limotroph land. Okay. To say so, we do not know anything about this plague and how to fight it. The population of our beautiful country decreases faster and faster. The disease is even affecting the royal family of Ronrin. And then December 6th of whatever year. Princess Celsia, unique daughter to Chelin, is dead. The king has no heir to his throne, and his state is worsening by the day. If the disease does not end him, his sorrow might, and his whole bloodline will be lost. We cannot wait any longer. The expedition will go tomorrow. I'll carry the king's sword, Fenrir, with me. He ceded it to me so that its power protects us. We will ride to the north. We will save our king. The next day. Only half of the men came. The other half did not answer the call. I fear that the scourge took the best of them too. We crossed the land to reach the northern borders with bitterness. Under a freezing snow that has been falling for days, we saw the corpses of some unfortunates. Some of us would occasionally stop to mourn. December 8th. We left the country and entered Siren. Siren is a country with which we have good relations. We achieved to reach the first village and consulted with its chief to gather informations or help from a healer. Because of the unknown nature of the scourge, we did not receive any help as I feared. We resumed our travel to the east. Time skip, December 13th. We crossed 2 villages and a town without making progress in our quest. The healers do not know about this disease, but they believe they could recognize it if they saw an infected body. I, alas, carried no sick person in fear it would slow us down. I now regret it. December 14th. We arrived in a village resting at the feet of the Elkiors. On this long chain of mountains were born numerous legends and an academy of Dahal forgotten arts. We firstly addressed the chief, who, as all the others, told us to meet the healer. Thanks to the remains of Tristan, he recognized the disease. At last a glimpse of light. He described to us the monstrosity that hit us, a weapon from the ancient times, destined to eradicate entire peoples. Alas, the remedy was not in his possession. Only time vanquishes this plague, when every victim has fallen. And so I pleaded him to find a cure, because none of our sick were dispensable, especially our king. He then gave us his advice. Reach Aelorian, town of mages, to plead help from the Dahal masters, them who already had to fight this scourge in the past. But he stifled our hopes, explaining that the travel from here to Aelorian was long, so much that it was estimated in weeks of walking. This way, we would be coming back to our country far too late. Also came his second advice, which he shared hesitantly. There was a shrine hidden in the mountain, forgotten by all, in which were an object allowing to create miracles by whom wields it. But the legend also says that it was cursed. We did not have a choice, so many lives depended on us. Tomorrow at sunset, we will leave for this forgotten shrine, accompanied by the healer who proposed himself generously as a guide. May he be blessed. December 20th. The climbing was slow. The cold bites us. I now use our liege's sword, Fenrir, to protect us from the freezing winds whipping our blood. But the fatigue and the summits abases our crew. We will need more than a little bit of magic to go through this obstacle. In this early afternoon, we lost one more man. A snowdrift broke under his feet, and he fell from the heights and broke his bones. May he be in peace. We do not have the strength nor the courage to bury him. He will stay here by eternal cold of Elkshaw's summits. December 25th. It's in this evening that we arrive to our objective, the Forgotten Shrine. Our guide entered the shrine nervously. He is seared, like if the scourge was gazing upon us, but nothing reaches here besides coldness. The shrine has a central and round room. Oh, it was scared, like if the scourge was gazing upon it. Okay. The shrine has a central and round room in which its middle raises a throne where lays a skeleton. It also has an altar facing one of the exits. The place, large enough to accommodate 100 or people, protects well from the wind. We made a fire with old pieces of furniture scattered around the shrine. Rations were getting low. By luck, some raptors fly in the area. We'll only have to down 2 of them to prepare a meal. We all need a good night of rest. December 22nd. Sleepiness left our crew pretty late today. The skeleton resting on the throne is charcoal burnt by the cold. Its head is topped with a crown of grey stone, itself covered of ancient and unknown symbols. In the shrine lay some precious objects, gold-plated and adorned with gems, but none of us has the strength or the will to carry them. What an astonishing sensation. I am confused. Neither the cold nor the tiredness tear me down anymore. Everything is so different. Earlier, the healer and me had examined the crowned corpse. I believe I noticed in his behavior that he recognized the symbols, and that his distrust towards this place doubled. He even seemed to face a certain panic and refused to touch the skeleton or its ornament. Dedicating myself, I took the crown and placed it on my head. And here I am, reborn, rediscovering the world surrounding me with a whole new eye, orienting my mind to details which were your tiny and uninteresting. It almost made me forget the goal of our mission. Finally, a miracle happened. When approaching Tristan's body, which we achieved to carry until there, I felt something new. I did almost nothing else than put my hands over its corpse and close my eyes. Then, Tristan straightened abruptly and opened his eyes. The whole crew froze during long seconds. The young Emhi, friend of Tristan, then pronounced his name with tearing eyes. Tristan began to shake and turned towards him with a confused look. He left his coffin to sit on the ground. The poor man questioned about where he was and what was happening without any interruption nor expectations of an answer. Strangely, I did not feel surprised. I just rejoiced I discovered such a power. Tristan came back to life. After a few hours, his skin turned back to more vivid color and the wound left by his suicide disappeared. He spoke normally, and even better, he did not show any sign of the disease anymore. He came back, even happy, and the others recognized him. Alas, I feel the fear in them towards me, particularly from the healer from whom it took a moment before I could talk to again. December 23rd. We left the shrine this morning, moved by a remarkably new hope. Every man were better, even those who couldn't breathe in a week. During the travel, we found the corpse of the second deceased, and as everyone expected it, I gave life back to him. The descent will be much faster than the climbing. December 25th. We separated from the guide once back at the village where we initially met him. We promised mountains of rewards for his precious help, but he refused. Even more than this, he pleaded us to excuse him, fearing the curse affecting the crown and the future of our kingdom. He then implored us to put it back to its place once our nation would be saved. He still did not seem reassured. We had to leave him this way, hurried by our quest and conscious of his warnings. December 31st. The royal family succumbed during our expedition, but fortunately and thanks to the crown, I made them all come back. This week, I went through the kingdom to reproduce this miracle on anyone that the scourge took, and also brought back the cattles. I do not feel any tiredness while using this power, and will henceforth not stop to restore the peace of before. That was December 31st. Now January 26th, almost a month later. It's a disaster. I don't understand. Why are they doing this? And I am absolutely unable to calm them down. The things are worse than before. They all die and I can't keep them alive. The deceased attack the living and then collapse. The resurrection of the royal family and of its subjects only brought back the country's peace for a feeble time. Why did I attempt to bring back the old deads? They are uncontrollable. I see the part of humanity they had before their end, but it seems erased, bleak. A suffering and an infinite sorrow haunts them. Some even plead me to stop. The country is destroyed. I endure alone, unique survivor of this war between the deceased and the living. Even if I selected those I brought back, nothing changed from it. They all end up killing themselves. I cannot recognize our king. By 3 times I gave him life back until he attacked me with a violent sword strike and did to himself what he did to his subjects. I deceived. Ronrin is no more. Oh god, that book's finally over. Expedition
Is
Diary.
that all?
Bye.
Is that all the books?
No, that was the Expedition Diary, and now I have the Diary of Stateless, which is 32 pages.
You know, there's a tie like what it's gonna be is just reading.
By the time I'm done with this, you're gonna bring me another freaking book.
No, it's not. That's the last part. I can't find any other books for you to read.
May 16th. No, whatever the heck, solar calendar. Okay, hold on. Who's the one who wrote this? I want to know. Oh wait, this is Mayorine. The same dude.
Oh.
So I stick with the same voice. It is now time to resume the writing of my journey. I, Mayorine, previously Chamberlain to the King Chelin, Lord of the land of Ronrin. 2 months have passed since the definitive downfall of my nation, and even though grief and solitude remain my only companions, the power I pride myself with keeps awakening my curiosity, and cultivates within me the soul of a scientist or of a mage. The rumor says that the neighboring nations erected high walls to isolate what is left of Ronrin. Nothing will fix my country now. The guilt afflicts me. The people I meet are all afraid of me, I think. Could I be emanating an aura of grief from this culpability, or the sadness of my solitude? I am helpless at the fact that coldness fills anything surrounding me. Without even knowing who I am, they know where I come from, and those few who dare speak to me, and which aren't crazy, call me King Mayorine. I loathe this title, for I am not worthy of it. They do so to refer to the crown I wear sometimes on my head, and sometimes on my belt. Anyway, I still have a promise to keep. I must return to the forgotten shrine in the mountains. May 24th of the solar calendar. The journey to the shrine was hard. The healer which once served as a guide was no longer in the village when I came. No villager dared tell me what happened to him. My look is worsening. I now resemble more of a ghost than a king. My name, my reputation, they follow me and people whisper this name wherever I arrive. I do not eat any more these days. I do not feel the need of it, and feel no fatigue from this either. The shrine is as calm as the first time we came. I found the remains of the fire camp we made to warm us up, so I kept my promise. The artifact returned at the forgotten shrine. But I am not yet ready to let it go completely. There are still things I need to try, or I should say to experiment. I will then note all of my observations in this very diary. May 27th. The task is harder than I expected. I was not born a man of science, and by so, I had the feeling a lot of things passed before my inexperienced eye. Either way, here are the results. I no longer need the body of a deceased to make him come back. His spirit, however, dissipates faster than it takes to word it. I brought life back to the skeleton living on the throne, first holder of the stone crown. The degraded state of his corporeal envelope did not allow him any movement. I sensed he was alive, and an emotion came from him. Mockery towards me. Then nothing. silence, to its disappearance. He turned to dust. Oh, the terrible fate that afflicts me. He by far would have been the most precious help I could find. From this mockery, I understand, it is by no means useful to bring him back again. He won't help me. May 31st. Today, while sounding the ether's deepness, I made a strange encounter. A being so dark that it damped my perceptions so much I was unable to read it. I decided to bring him back to light to observe it. Resuscitated, I examined my finding. Its spirit is intact, contrary to every previous experimentation I did. No dilution seems to have happened to him. Even when bodiless, its spirit kept its whole. I see it as a transparent mass, dark, with no distinct shape, and asleep. I wonder if it is visible by all, or if it is nothing but a mere product of my imagination. A few hours have passed since its resurrection. It seems to be gaining some sort of shape. What I recognize as a kind of huge animal soon became a man of impressive stature. A black skeleton, bigger than the one previously sitting on the throne. I asked him a series of questions without receiving any answer. I must rest. It had been 3 days since I had last slept. June 1st. It seems that I am only talented for mistakes. The being persisted, unconscious, and my patience for its awakening reached its end. I achieved, by miracle, to enter his mind. Then, as I was asking for his name, a terrific sound grumbled, screeching in an astonishing silence, a word. Triumph. I repeated this word before I got expelled from his mind. Back to light. I observed a dark aura growing around its bones, as well as reddish glows in place of its empty eye sockets. He spoke his first words, weak as a whisper, and his sayings, which I was unable to interpret, engraved themselves in my mind. He has no dread ether, thug ilether. Dalmion olil, odel dianth, alil umbra dianth. Its voice raised, inducing an unprecedented dismay in my soul, repeating louder, Umbra Dianth. Weather abruptly changed outside, switching to a terrible blizzard. Still confused and stunned, I watched it start to move up to me, and raise an arm ready to strike, a hit that I only parried thanks to my liege's sword. From this failure and my imposture, the dark being ran to the shrine's exit and threw himself off the cliff. I must go and see if the fall got the best of him. Umbra Dianth, so is his name. June 19th. The hunt took long, more than a year. Oh, June 19th of the following year. I, however, managed to vanquish the beast. Umbra Dianth killed a number of innocents on its rampage, a number I could not bring back. I still don't know its origin, but the souls of its victims did not join the ether. My hunt ended in an old underground structure under a forest, Pharaoh of the lands of Undel. Unable to end him, I there confined it and sealed the entrance as a crypt. A powerful Dahal master could maybe annihilate it, but my humble opinion is that none would dare. Besides, the power of Fenrir was of great help. My final journey to return to the shrine concluded, I rested. I do not recall to have slept during this year of hunt. The meaning of the symbols ornating the crown finally appears to me. I don't know how. It would be something close to die in thy terror and relive, chosen of ultimate error, for Angband will see no ether. My mistakes afflict me. I need a rest, a long rest. So then I hid Fenrir to protect it during my sleep. I am so worn out.